want to avoid this at all costs, forces that water up our nose. I want you to practice this over and over and over and over.
There's nothing more frustrating than trying to back float and it failing over and over and over again. But after today's video, I will guarantee you will 10x your back float results like that. So if you're ready, let's go! Yeah, we're feeling good today, so we decided to pull our back floating content directly from our 30-day Learn to Swim Accelerator program, which, by the way, if you haven't signed up for it, link is in the description below. But what does that mean for you? It means you're gonna get the absolute best content so that you can learn how to back float with ease. Here's how we're gonna go about today's video. I'm gonna give you the 3 or 4 most important aspects of back floating so that you know foundationally the things that we need to do for your success. Then after that, I'm gonna show you the 3 or 4 most common mistakes that brand new swimmers make when they're first trying to back float. The goal of this is that if we do the things that are right and we avoid the things that are wrong, well, you're gonna 10x it, baby.
In our head, we have this imagination of the perfect back float. We're in the middle of the pool on vacation, just chilling on our back, sipping a pina colada, enjoying ourselves. So it's no wonder when we're hit with reality and we can't recreate that we start to grow in our frustration and think that we're doing something wrong. The truth is, most of us just haven't been taught the proper tiny details. But that's not going to be you, so here's to your paradise back float. One thing we love to have our students do is to get their ears wet before attempting a back float. Like this. Step number 1 is to find a wall in the shallow end. Place your hands and feet on the wall. Lean your head back and get used to the sensation of water rising and falling around your ears and head. Now I want you to practice this over and over and over and over again until you are completely comfortable with the sensation of the water rising and falling around your ears.
We have got to be 100% relaxed before we go into the back float. Now, I know we mention this on every single video. It is the foundation of the Caribe swim, learn to swim methodology. And on back floating, it couldn't be more relevant. We have got to ensure that we are 100% relaxed every single time we are on our back. The reason is that when we carry tension in our body on our back, we're gonna sink immediately. Now the reason, bit side of my mouth earlier, so if I have a little bit of a lisp today, that's why. If you need support on relaxing, I'll link that one up here.
From there, you're going to take a deep breath and gently let go of the wall and slowly push yourself off to create forward momentum. It is much easier to practice this with some forward momentum than to practice this in a static position. Tip number 2 is head position, head position, head position. Kind of like a house. Location, location, location. Floating on your back, head position, head position, head position. So why is that? Well, there's 2 reasons. 1, our head weighs a lot and we pick it up out of the water and the rest of our body is in the water. We have gravity acting as a force on one part of our body that weighs a lot, pushing the rest of our body down. Now, picking our head up also brings our spine out of alignment and it literally pushes the rest of our body in the wrong position. And it's one of our natural tendencies to not want to keep it all the way back in the water because we don't want to get our ears wet. It feels a little funny. I want you to notice where Coach Jeff's eyes are looking. They're up and slightly back. Most new swimmers are trying to look up towards their toes, and that is why their legs sink. Watch what happens as soon as Coach Jeff looks down with his eyes instead of back.
So I want you to go over and re-go over these in-between steps until you're 100% honest with yourself that you are 100% comfortable, calm, cool, collected, chill, relaxed, zen. From there, well, you go into part 3 of what's going to make you successful. So step number 3 is ensuring that we get a deep, full breath of air in before we go into our back float movement. This is essential because the air in our lungs will provide extra buoyancy in the water. And it's really at this point that I see a lot of our students trying to take deep breaths, but not accomplishing that successfully. So I'm gonna have Meredith walk you through the proper technique on ensuring you're gonna get a full breath so that you can get as much buoyancy as possible. Here she is.
One thing we see all the time with new students is they breathe very shallow and just in our chest. Now this is completely normal as we live in a society that tells us to tuck it in and keep it tight, right? But we need to breathe from our stomach. Now, most people are breathing just in their chest, very shallow, maybe this much. Now, what we want to do is we want to imagine that our stomach is a balloon, and that is how we take the deepest breath possible.
My balloon maybe shows a little bit better on camera.
Now watch what happens if we exhale too much, too quickly.
And with that, we've now gone over relaxation, proper head position, a full set of lungs, and the last thing is, well, where do we put our arms? And this is a really common question we get asked all the time. Do we want our arms up here, kind of in by our head? Do we want them all the way down to our side, or do we want them somewhere in between? And once we get steps 1, 2, and 3 perfect, this is where you get to have some fun and explore where your buoyancy is the best. So what you're gonna do, once 1, 2, and 3 are absolutely on point, is you're gonna go in the shallow end, you're gonna practice going into your back float, and you're gonna start at the top, and then every time you go back into that, you're gonna subtract about 5 or 10 degrees with your arms. And you're gonna find where the right position is for you. See, we all have a unique body composition between fat and muscle. So it's really not on me to tell you exactly where your arms should be. All that I can do is give you a range and say, it's on you to find out. And what I can assure you of is that if we're not 100% comfortable with steps 1, 2, and 3, this step is going to be much more difficult.
Here Jeff shows us how to find out what arm position will work best for you. As he mentioned earlier, we all have unique body composition. Sometimes swimming technique is not all one size fits all.
This is it for me. Watch the difference. Uncomfortable? This is impossible. My feet sink. Look at that.
Feet are sinking.
Go down. Whoa. All right, so far my arms are down, I sink. Watch what happens though if I find it right here.
And right there is his ideal arm position for floating. If his hands are too far up or completely down by his side, he sinks or he is uncomfortable. And you'll go through the same process in finding what is most comfortable and ideal for your arms while back floating.
I never knew this. I'm learning something new here. My arms are down at my side. My feet completely sink immediately. That is fascinating. Wow. So with all that being said, I am confident that after watching today's video, you are going to be a champion back floater, and we want to hear from you. How did it go? What are some of the things you're struggling with? What are some of the things you absolutely crushed? And if you haven't gotten the hint yet, I would love to see you in our 30-day Learn to Swim Accelerator program. One more time, you can find that in the link in the description below. We start a brand new 30-day program on the 1st and 15th of every month, and it is guaranteed to get you to learn how to swim. I'll see you there.